Hey gang, I'm back and I've got Dahlia here with me.
Happy holidays.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So I brought Dahlia in to do a couple of videos with me. This is the first of a couple of them. As I said, we've got a list of fragrances from the house of Francesca Bianchi. We're doing a ranked list. It's a top 8 Francesca Bianchi fragrances. If you're curious to find out about the fragrances from Francesca Bianchi, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. This is Dahlia. How are you doing?
Excellent. How are you, sir?
Good. Good. So when was the first time you got introduced to Francesca Bianchi?
I'm sure it was you.
The Dark Knight?
It was the Dark Side, actually.
What am I thinking? It's the Black Knight, Dark Knight, Dark Side.
Yes, it's the Dark Side of the Force.
Where in the hell? I'm thinking of Batman. I think that's why. DC guy.
Marvel. Although kind of exhausted by Marvel.
Lately?
There's too much.
Too many things.
Too many things. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
There was a plot. I was really excited about the plot, and then I don't really know what's happening now.
I don't either. But we are doing a video on Francesca Bianchi fragrances. It's 8 of our favorites.
Yes.
And we're doing a ranked list. Are you guys a fan of Francesca Bianchi fragrances? So let's go ahead and get started.
I'm ready.
Okay. So at number 8, we are putting this one right here. That's why I said the Dark Knight, but it's the Black Knight.
I actually really like this one.
You like this one?
I really like this one. It's very like motorcycle kind of bad boy kind of.
You're a fan of leather, right?
I am.
Yeah.
A lot of the Francesca Bianchi fragrances have kind of an Orris kind of buttery core, and so this is still there, so it's connecting it to the line, but it is a big leather and like a bad patchouli. Not bad like bad, bad like bad.
Bad.
Yes.
Big bad boy.
Bad to the bone.
Bad to the bone.
You know, yes. This is a jukebox hero. I think it's kind of, yeah, but the honey comes through and kind of like balances it, but it is a sort of...
Do you get any of the Caraway, which you're very sensitive to?
I do on my skin, which is why I don't have this. But
you're very sensitive to that note, and I absolutely love it. For me, I am fairly new to this one. That's why it's at the bottom of the list, but I could see why you like it, because you do like these kind of leathery...
This has been my trend of 2022, and maybe even 2021 as well, is fragrances that are in this kind of mechanic, motorbike kind of zone of leather jacketness.
Do you consider it masculine fragrance, or is it unisex?
I would love to say that it's unisex, but in my heart of hearts, I would call that one masculine.
Really? Okay.
I would.
It's very unisex to me, leaning masculine, but I can go with that.
Yeah.
I can go with that. So we're going to put number 7, Tiger. Do you know this one?
Not well.
Not well?
It's on the sweeter side, so I haven't spent very much time with it.
Yeah, you don't like sweeter fragrances, but once again, we did have honey in Black Knight.
Yeah.
But I think the honey in Tiger is a lot more pronounced than the honey in the Black Knight. It's honey with peaches, or peach jam in this case. There's also leather here as well, but the leather, it's almost like reversed with the Black Knight.
The balance of it is, the pendulum has swung in a sweeter kind of...
Yeah, sweet fruity. Sweet fruity for sure. It's not your cup of tea. No.
If it genuinely was peach tea, I probably still wouldn't. I mean, like, I don't put honey in my tea. I don't drink fruit teas. It's kind of like, even that's too sweet for me.
Yeah.
Taking your comment literally.
I see. Okay.
Because you did not intend it.
So this one does settle to a leather eventually, with some woods and the oakmoss. Of course, the patchouli's there as well. But it is so sweet and fruity at the same time, and the narcotic flowers that are in here, I'm assuming, would be something like jasmine, so you have that presence in here as well. But for me, it's mostly the honeyed fruits experience eventually settling down to the leather and sandalwood. So yeah, Tiger at number 7. We could probably reverse that with the Black Knight. We could. But moving on to number 6, we've got Libertine Neroli. This one came out this year. This to me is a Chypre fragrance, Chypre. It's leathery once again, but it's also very Neroli forward. It's got Neroli.
It's got that bright, cheerful kind of fruity burst of like joy and exuberance, which is kind of a lot of the line I think of as very sort of sultry and kind of, you know, boudoir is a strong word and connotation, but I do think a lot of the line is very sexy and sort of with that orris and musk and kind of leather triptych. And this is a much brighter kind of departure from that character.
Okay, so you consider her fragrances kind of boudoirish?
I think they're very sexy.
Yeah?
I think it's a very sexy line. It's kind of, yeah, for sure, don't you? It's kind of a...
Yeah, I feel like they're very unisex fragrances. There is definitely a DNA flowing throughout the fragrances because one fragrance to another will remind you of one another. And I feel like Francesca Bianchi also focuses on leathers, the orris and animalic notes. Those are kind of like key or trademark ingredients for her, so they'll come up frequently. In this case, we've got it in this particular fragrance as well, but with the overdose of neroli.
But it is an overdose. It's kind of, it's in that zone with like the État Libre d'Orange cologne, has that kind of bright, juicy burst. I think there's one that I really liked from Datique as well that had that really bright, kind of almost candied neroli. And
so you consider neroli kind of candied? In this case, it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's sweet, but it's a different kind of sweet than Tiger. Tiger's like
fruity sweet, honeyed, very much honey.
Which neroli is and should be also considered fruity sweet, but this I feel is more candied as opposed to like jammy.
Interesting. Okay. So Libertine Neroli at number 6. So at number 5, it's Luxe, Calme, Volupte, or is it Volupte?
Don't know.
This is a really yummy fragrance for me. I really love the galbanum that stands out in this one, and it's also a little different than some of the other fragrances that we've smelled, still keeping the DNA, the trademark DNA in the mix here.
But it's very sexy. This is very sort of a nice little wink, kind of wink and a nod to vintage, and in the way that Opoponax and sort of Benzoin and Iris are all kind of there with Hyacinth. I feel like there's a vintage feel without it being retro. It's just kind of like a little nod, a little kind of wink and a nod, and it's very sexy. It's very
You consider
sensual.
this one sexy?
Absolutely, very sensual. This I'm not saying it's like, if I'm saying other fragrances, it's not because I think this is a dupe in any way. It's its own thing, but it would be kind of in the neighborhood of like Derviche from Rogue, like that kind of.
This one, okay.
Yeah, like that. I don't know, in a great way, it makes me think of like vintage or antique stores where there's just like that polish on the wood, the patina from like years and years. This is...
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Maybe like the bitter orange there and like that. Anyway, I think this one's, I mean, I haven't worn it. I really like this. This one's kind of on my list. I think that's like the title.
What should we do?
Yes.
Do you generally like galbanum?
I love Galbanum.
Yeah.
I love Opoponax. I love Hyacinth.
Oh yeah, Hyacinth is good.
Yeah.
But Hyacinth in this one doesn't pop through as much.
Well,
but
I think it does. I think it's very much like that kind of, what's it? Cabotine?
Cabotine.
Like it's got that, but that's part of what makes it feel sort of vintage and kind of classic.
But to me, I feel like Francesca Bianchi's fragrances generally has a vintage vibe throughout the collection.
I never thought about it. Yeah, you're right.
You mentioned the boudoir thing, the powdery.
That's true. You're right. And the next one we're going to talk about also has a little nod to vintage. That's fair.
Okay. All right. So Luxe, Calme, Volupte is at number 5.
Very interesting.
And then at number 5, we've got the Dark Side, not the Dark Knight, the Dark Side.
Favorite.
This is your favorite from the line.
And yeah, this one is a very, very strong nod to vintage, spicy, kind of musky perfumes.
Kind of like going into the direction of opium, perhaps.
Yes, very much in that zone.
Yeah. Do you consider? You were mentioning the cologne idea earlier, the orange blossom with Italie Orange and things like that. These fragrances, compared to those fragrances, these are so much thicker.
Yeah.
Even the orange blossom, which generally is thin and transparent, when you experience them here with Francesca Bianchi fragrances, they're just thick, heavy, very, very dense.
I would say the Dark Side is denser than the Neroli.
Okay, yeah, for sure. It's thicker and woodier as well.
Yeah, this is, dare I say, sultry?
I don't know, the Dark Side being sultry, you can say whatever you want, it's your experience. I wouldn't call it
in a
sultry.
In a cozy way. Sultry, not like in a like overt sexual kind of way, but sultry in a kind of, really, you just woke up and looked like that? Okay. Sure you do.
For me, the dark side is also very thick with the amber, and it's got this really heavy spiciness for sure. Like
The
we were mentioning, yeah, we were mentioning the opium earlier, but definitely the styrax and the amber touches it along with the honey and the incense creates this kind of like a resinous experience here along with the woods.
It makes me think of like, maybe not as strong as like cinnabar, but like that kind of
Cinnamon. Yeah.
The cinnamon is I mean, I would be shocked if the spices did not include cinnamon on this one.
They're definitely warm spices for sure. I would say cinnamon, cloves, even like nutmeg would probably appear here.
And the patchouli blends with them in a really kind of, it's nice. That's my
Only other thing with this one is the violet. For me, it creates a kind of a makeup effect to the fragrance. There's definitely the idea of makeup here, like women's makeup. Do you get that from this?
I never thought about it, but I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, violet. Whenever I see violet,
It's an amber, I would say, at the end of the day.
very much so.
But it's easy to wear. I mean, actually, there are a lot of ambers that are easy to wear. This is easier than many because it's not so sweet. It's not like so...
Yeah, I agree. She says she's right about the not so sweet because some of the first fragrances we talked about, like a TYGER and also Libertine Neroli, there's definitely a sweetness there in comparison to the dark side. Definitely, it's not as sweet. Yeah. So number 3, it's Sex and the Sea, which used to be my favorite from this line, but there's a couple of others now that are much more favorite. But for me, I like this one because it's that unique anti-beachy fragrance. Because I don't know if Francesca Bianchi can do like that ultimate beachy type of fragrance because her concentration is so thick and heavy. But there's kind of a beachy vibe in here, don't you think?
I don't know this one that well. I
No?
love the name, but ambergris kind of is a difficult note for me.
It can be difficult. It's not difficult here. Maybe it's slightly animalic. It's got ambergris, pineapple, coconut, mimosa, iris, civet, immortelle, vanilla. So it's got a very interesting combination of notes. It does have animalics and civet, like the ambergris and civet. I don't get it much on me though. Maybe you might.
There are some notes that pull forward on my skin and that I think ambergris doesn't play very well with me. So what season would you wear this in? Is this a summer scent?
I mean, it's not really. I can't consider her fragrances summer fragrances to begin with. I think they're all year round, but favoring the winter season. Even this, as I said, is kind of like the anti-beachy fragrance because it's got these beachy notes in there. It's
But
just
it is sweet though. The pineapple is pretty forward in this, and I think the mimosa, or maybe it's the immortelle as well, just that kind of yellow sweet kind of fruity floral is very...
Yeah. Immortelle kind of creates like a caramelized brown sugariness, the mimosa with its almondy powderiness, and you've got iris in there, and then you've got that coconut. I don't know.
No,
it's fun.
But
it's a fun
there
fragrance.
is like a tropical drink melting in your hand here. But it's for the only reason I have to kind of like...
Stand back.
Yeah, me and ambergris...
Don't play well.
It's not as dramatic as the cumin situation, but it is...
I don't have a cumin fragrance in here, so you are safe for now.
For now.
For now.
We'll see what that other video is about.
So moving on to number 2, this is number 2 fragrance and the one that came out the most recent. It's Unspoken Musk, really a wonderful musk fragrance from the hands and the mind of Francesca Bianchi. For sure it has her DNA here, but it has definitely that kind of deer musk presence that I really, really love in musky fragrances. It features musk, castoreum, civet, tonka beans, sandalwood, iris, magnolia, vanilla, immortelle, bergamot, cypriol, patchouli. So she's got 3 different animalic notes that are pretty prominent here. Does it come off animalic to you?
It smells like cookies.
Oh.
It smells like...
Musky cookies. Sweaty cookies.
Well, it's I think the vanilla, but there's almost like a Nilla wafer kind of vibe to it, and I mean, we haven't talked about how she has the best names, really good names. I very
My number
much
one
enjoy them.
fragrance from her is, I think, the best name.
A lot of them are really, really good though. Unspoken Musk is a good name. I get cookies from this, but I think on skin it would be a different story, and I have not tried this on skin.
Maybe on skin you'll get animal cookies.
I would almost certainly get the civet. Like, is it?
Are you friends with civet?
I am sometimes, oddly enough.
Are
but
you friends with Castoreum?
Castoreum and I have we'll put them in the cumin bucket with what else did I say? Ambergris.
Ambergris. Yeah.
Castoreum can go hang out over
And
there.
you're fine with deer musk? I don't think she's using real deer musk here, by the way. It's the synthetic stuff.
I mean,
There's a gourmand edge to this, for sure.
For sure, it smells
Yeah.
like cookies.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because it's got.
That's what I like about it.
Well,
Animalic cookies.
again, though, in the context of this line, some of them are a little sweeter than I tend to go for, but
Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense. Unspoken musk at 2. And finally, it is Sticky Fingers.
It is a really good name.
It's a good name.
It's a really good name.
And apparently, this was worn by, what's her name?
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love of Whole. Sticky Fingers is patchouli. It's patchouli, tobacco, iris butter, leather, sandalwood, castoreum, tonka beans. Typical DNA of Francesca Bianchi fragrances with an overdose of patchouli.
It's great.
It's very powdery,
Very rock and roll.
very rock and roll.
Yeah.
Does
And I
it
like
fit the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're a patchouli fan.
What?
Do you guys know that she's we are both patch hoes?
This one is on that list with Luxe, CALME, VOLUPTE in my kind of Although Black Knight is there too.
Okay. So those are some of your favorites?
Those are the ones that I'm eyeballing, but I have the dark side.
Oh yeah, the dark side for sure.
Yes.
Well, definitely the Sticky Fingers deserves the #1 spot, not only because it's patchouli, it's also really yummy because it does have her trademark with iris butter, so it's powdery. And then of course the leather comes in. It's not animalic much, but a little bit. It's really great wear.
I should say that you know, if I don't know if you've said this on other videos, I'm sure, like when you're talking about a brand DNA, the way she uses iris I think is really unique to her. Like it is really buttery. It is a really sort of melty kind of like thick kind of like texture.
Yeah, it's very textural. Her Orris butter is really Orris butter, not airy, floating in the air powder of iris.
It's kind of like a very chic kind of like warm. So the way she uses iris across her line kind of, because I can't think of somebody else who uses iris in that way, so that's to me very much a signature.
Yeah, her DNA for sure.
And it's a positive.
Yeah, almost like the butteriness of the iris makes for like a gourmand twist to all her line, because there is that kind of like textural, thick, the way butter is. You know how creamy when you're like spreading it on bread or something.
Yeah, but that's gross. But like. Without, you know, like it's not like you're rubbing butter like in a
Some people put butter all over themselves.
This is a judgment-free zone. Do not take that as judgmental. Live your life. If that is what you enjoy. Awesome. However, this is not that. This is more like a shea butter or like a, you know, cocoa butter, kind of like
body butter.
Yes. I don't.
Anyway, Sticky Fingers
I don't think
is
I've ever heard anyone say that out loud.
body butter.
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen it like in catalogs, but it sounds very weird. Ew.
Anyway, body butter it is. No, Sticky Fingers is #1.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, what do you guys think of these fragrances? Are you fans? And how would you organize this, or like the order of the fragrances if you were to put this list together? Switch it around for us and put a comment down so we can find out, and let us know your favorite fragrance if you don't feel like doing that.
What did we miss?
Yeah, there are a few that we didn't add here, but a few of her other fragrances are featured in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. So other than that, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for coming by. This is Dahlia. If you don't know her, I'm sure they know you, right?
They might not know me, but you can find me on Instagram @theperfumeDahlia if you want to see what I've been wearing.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.